Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of describing the volume of a cylinder. This is standard 8.6a in the great state of Texas, and we're using item number 31 of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we've got a cylinder here. They've given us the height. They've given us the volume and the radius. They're asking us for the height, but not necessarily to find the height, but just to represent it with an equation. So let's first get a visual representation here. We're dealing with a cylinder. Okay, so let's just go ahead and draw an approximation of a cylinder. It's not going to be to scale, obviously, but we're wanting to kind of draw a cylinder. Well, we could do it like this, right? Let's make it tall and kind of skinny. Right, I'm going to put some dashed lines right there to kind of represent the backside. Okay, so there's my tall and skinny cylinder. And so the whole volume, which is the inside, right? That's the amount of space that it takes up on the inside. The volume equals 87.35 cubic inches. All right, so I'll just go ahead and put this inches cubed. The radius, all right, we always need the radius because volume is base times height, right? And so the radius is going to be an imaginary line from the center of the base, circular base, over to the side. Okay, so we can say R equals 5.17 inches. So we need to find the height. All right, so how do we find the height? This is, now that we got a visual representation, let's go ahead and get our reference materials open because we're going to need to find volume. Volume of a cylinder, V equals base times height. Okay, so this is what we know. Volume equals base times height. Well, if I'm looking for height, right, I need to isolate that variable, right? So we're going to use the properties of operations. So right now that height is being has a multiplied by b on there. So I'm going to use the inverse of multiplication, that is division. So if I divide this side by b, right, then b divided by b just cancels out, becomes 1. Height will be isolated. But the properties of operation say you can't just divide one side by b, but you can divide both sides by b. Okay, so that's going to cancel out, and it's going to be h equals volume over base. But if we take a look at our answer selections, I'm going to need more than that. I'm going to need some actual numbers in there. So what is the base? The base is actually the area of the circle, right? Area of the base. In this case, it's a circle, so that is going to be area of a circle. We see that as pi r squared. Okay, so if that's the case, I'm going to replace this b with my pi r squared. So I'm going to rewrite it right here. H equals volume over my base is pi r squared. I can do that because take a look. I've got my volume right there. I've got my r right there. All right, so now let's substitute. That should be what we need. All right, so my height is going to equal, write it right there, my volume, I'm going to substitute in 87.35 cubic inches, that means inches cubed, right, over pi. And then it's got r squared, but I'm going to substitute in that r with a 5.17. So I'm going to need to parentheses 5.17 inches and then squared. If I wanted to take out my calculator, I could calculate for that, but I don't need to because taking a look at this, right, we are just needing pi and 5.17 squared on the bottom. So really I only see a pi in 2 of these, and in C is on the top. So they flipped the numerator and denominator for C and D. Our answer is going to be D because that matches exactly what we did.